What if the Matrix isn't just something out there? What if it's a system of conditioning running through human consciousness itself? Today, I want to open a new series inspired by Children of the Matrix by David Icke, starting with Chapter 1, The Plot, but also explore through my own lens of sovereignty, healing, and awakening. Because whether you take this book literally, symbolically, or psychologically, it asks questions most people never dare to ask, and those questions matter. David Icke wrote one of the most controversial books on hidden power, manipulation, and consciousness. Some people dismiss it. Some see it as a revelation. Some read it as a metaphor. But whatever you view, your view, books like this challenge consensus reality. And I believe questioning reality is often where awakening begins, because growth doesn't start with answers. It starts with inquiry. In this first chapter, Icke proposes that much of what appears chaotic in history may not be random. That behind political systems, financial systems, wars, institutions, there may be deeper patterns of power operating. And whether you take that literally or symbolically, there's a powerful question underneath it. How much of what we call reality has been shaped by conditioning? And I want to go even deeper, because I think there's an outer plot and an inner plot. To me, the deepest matrix is internal. It is inherited beliefs, trauma loops, fear programming, approval addiction, the stories we live inside without realizing they are stories. I'm not enough. I have to earn love. Authority knows better than my intuition. That is programming. And many people live inside those scripts their entire lives. This is a kind of matrix, and awakening is beginning to see it. This is one of the deepest questions in the whole conversation. Who benefits when people remain unconscious? When people stay divided, fearful, reactive, disconnected from inner knowing? Whether you view this politically, spiritually, psychologically, that question matters, because conscious people are harder to manipulate. Sovereign people are harder to control. And healed people stop feeding old systems. That is powerful. One of the controversial ideas in this chapter is concentrated power through bloodlines and hidden networks. I'm not here to tell you what to believe, but I'm interested in what that symbolizes. Power protecting itself, systems preserving themselves, generational conditioning repeating itself. In families, in trauma, in culture, that pattern exists. And seeing pattern is part of waking up. This is where the convention gets mystical, because many traditions, not just Icke, suggest perception itself can be conditioned. Ancient mystics did, Gnostics did, Eastern traditions did. Even modern psychology points to it. We don't simply see reality, we often see through filters, beliefs, wounds, programming. And awakening may be less about gaining truth and more about removing distortion. This idea changed my life. This is why I say healing is not self-help. Healing is deprogramming. Every boundary you set, every trauma loop you break, every false belief you release, you step outside conditioning. That is breaking the matrix, not through force, through awareness, through sovereignty, through remembering who you are. For me, the biggest takeaway isn't hidden forces. It's this: where am I still programmed? Where do I still give away authority? Where do I still live inside inherited scripts? Because that's where the liberation begins. Not just exposing outer systems, but becoming free inwardly. That's the deeper revolution. Maybe the greatest plot was never simply about controlling the world. Maybe it was about keeping people from remembering their own power. And if that's true, awakening is remembering. If this resonates, subscribe, because I'm going to be going chapter by chapter through Children of the Matrix, and also exploring these ideas through consciousness, sovereignty, and healing. And I'd love to know, do you think the Matrix is mostly external or mostly internal? Drop it in the comments.